I'm Jim Byard, and I'm on behalf of Governor Robert Bentley and on behalf of the 200 men and women that comprise the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs. I am pleased to welcome you to our 30th anniversary. We are so glad that you came here today. Our employees are proud of our service to Alabama's 446 cities and towns and our 67 counties and countless nonprofits that we serve each and every day.
I want to thank ADECA and for what you do every day. You know, you're working for the people, just like Jim said. This is an agency of the people. It's an agency of local governments. It's an agency that helps us reach out and touch communities all over the state of Alabama. ADECA is a great agency. So continue to do what you're doing. Continue to help us because we do want to touch local communities.
I am very grateful to the work y'all do. So from the Lieutenant Governor's Office of the State of Alabama, I'm proud to award this certificate of recognition to the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs. On behalf of the citizens of Alabama, I recognize ADECA on the occasion of its 30th anniversary. And it's because of ADECA that Alabama continues to have sustainable growth and continues to prosper. Thank you very much, Mr. Director, ADECA, those who are here now, and those who have served before. Thank you very much.
In 1983, Michael Jackson ruled the radio and the new music video channel known as MTV. The MASH series finale became the most watched television show in history. Caffeine-free Diet Coke debuted, and Alabama sports fans cheered on a new professional football team, the Birmingham Stallions. And on March 1st, 1983, the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs was created when Governor George Wallace signed into law a measure that was passed by the legislature on February 24th. That legislation created the department, which some news outlets refer to as an umbrella agency within the governor's office.
The original premise of ADECA was to combine smaller federal grant-making agencies into one department.
ADECA basically was created to be able to house many services and programs under one agency.
You know, you look around at duplication of effort, and you have numerous agencies that were practically doing the same thing, and then ADECA came along and consolidated a lot of the federal efforts of getting grants in.
And the way they get their revenue is it all comes from one source. You put this money all in one place, and you're able to utilize it more efficiently.
Soon after signing the bill creating ADECA, Governor George Wallace named Bill Rushton, then a cabinet officer and head of the Office of State Planning and Federal Programs, as the first director of ADECA. A 10-member legislative oversight commission was also named.
I remember the first director, Bill Rushton. You know, he was fair and he was firm and he wanted things done right and he expected things to be done right.
I like Bill Rushton, our first one. He reminded me of Bear Bryant. I mean, he was to the point, and that was it.
Of course, I remember Bill Rushton, our very first director. He was always extremely nice. That was the main thing I remember about him.
The original ADECA programs included the Office of State Planning and Federal Programs, the Alabama Department of Energy, the Alabama Law Enforcement Planning Agency, the Office of Employment and Training, and the Office of Highway and Traffic Safety.
I first started with ADECA before it was ever even formed as a department. We actually worked in the basement at IBM trying to get some things set up before the department ever started.
The new department was originally housed in a complex of buildings off of Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery.
Some of the earliest memories that I have is like going to visit the building on Norman Bridge before they ever had the rooms set up, and we got to go around and see where the rooms were going to be, where the offices were going to be.
After the completion of the Alabama Center for Commerce in 1991, ADECA moved into its new home, 401 Adams Avenue. ADECA has managed a number of diverse programs over the years. Several core programs have always been at the heart of the agency. Community development block grants have improved the quality of life for thousands of state residents by funding basic necessities such as clean water and sewer service, and by helping to attract new industries that create jobs. Law enforcement programs have helped make our streets and highways safer and provided professional assistance to crime victims. Home weatherization and energy efficiency assistance has helped thousands of vulnerable Alabamians reduce their utility bills while staying warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Job training and workforce development programs have helped Alabama workers to prepare and qualify for jobs when existing industries expand or new ones move to the state. In 1984, the Young Department gained an additional responsibility for collecting and distributing federal and state surplus property. Through warehouses in Montgomery and North Alabama, ADECA makes the surplus equipment and supplies from federal and state agencies available to Alabama's local governments and eligible nonprofit agencies at a much lower cost compared to new items. Though the department is now commonly referred to as ADECA, that was not always the case.
ADECA was not the first name. Originally, it was Department of Economic and Community Affairs, and we used the acronym DECA. Well, we soon got a letter from Distributive Education, who also used that acronym, threatening a lawsuit. Rather than going through the process of fighting something like that, Bill Rushton decided we just call it Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs and use the acronym ADECA.
ADECA initially administered a coastal program that included management of the Weeks Bay Estuary in Baldwin County and a beach cleanup program. Another ADECA program that provided jobs for thousands of students across Alabama was the Summer Youth Employment Program. But while ADECA employees have always worked hard, there have been fun times as well, particularly with Christmas, Halloween, and the start of college football season. The department even had its own softball team for a time.
Toward the end, we probably ended up with probably a dozen teams. Like governor's office was in it, highway traffic safety people, Department of Transportation, it's just a bunch of teams.
The water wars and droughts increased awareness that the state needed to monitor water availability and track water use. For that purpose, Governor Guy Hunt, in 1991, issued an executive order creating the Office of Water Resources at ADECA. The office became a permanent part of ADECA with the passage of the Alabama Water Resources Act in 1993. The 90s also saw the addition of two programs that have helped build numerous parks, trails, and other outdoor recreational opportunities in Alabama. One of the biggest leaps forward for the department in the 90s was the expansion of computers around the office. Where ADECA once had a mainframe computer that was only accessible by a few employees, now everyone has access to a computer, increasing efficiency.
Back then, I didn't even have a computer, which of course now I do. We did not have cell phones. I had a pager, which could be very inconvenient. I don't remember having voicemail back when we were on Norman Bridge Road. It was the old pink message pads.
ADECA also began administering funding for a traffic safety enforcement campaign called Click It or Ticket that was designed to encourage more Alabamians to buckle up in their vehicles. Later, the Yellow Dot program was added, which helps first responders save the lives of crash victims. Throughout its history, ADECA has responded to urgent needs in the aftermath of disasters. More recently, ADECA administered funding that helped communities damaged by Hurricane Ivan in 2004 and Hurricane Katrina in 2005 to get back on their feet and begin rebuilding. Most recently, ADECA has been on the front lines as the state's lead agency in helping communities recover from the devastating tornadoes of April 2011. The department established a long-term community recovery section to provide ongoing help to those communities.
the disaster grants from the tornadoes in April of 2011. And we had quite a few contracts with cities and boards, county commissions, and I went to most all of them to monitor them. And so I had the opportunity to deal with the people who were trying to do the cleanup and the humanitarian efforts. And I think it was one of the most wonderful things that we were able to do to help these people.
Since 1983, 7 governors have sat in the Capitol building, 18 men and women have served as ADECA's director or acting director, and many valuable employees have contributed to our efforts. While much has changed over the past 30 years, our mission has not. Through programs supporting law enforcement and traffic safety, economic development, energy conservation, workforce development, water resource management, and recreation development, we work every day to build better Alabama communities.
ADECA is important because of the monies that we receive and the help that it provides for the different citizens in Alabama, especially now with what I do, dislocated workers, adults, and youth.
ADECA reaches all sectors in the state. Our programs are so beneficial to individuals, to local governments. We really make a difference in people's lives.
We're involved in tremendous number of aspects, community growth and development in Alabama.
Someone has to look after the communities at whole, and that's kind of what we do. We kind of make sure that communities receive the resources they need to take care of the Alabama citizens statewide.
We touch the lives of pretty much all the citizens in the state in some fashion, whether they realize it or not. Almost every community in the state has received funds from ADECA at some point in time for something. But ADECA's always there, tornadoes, hurricanes, ADECA's always there to pick up the pieces and help them get back, in business and pushing the way forward.
ADECA brings together a lot of different programs. A person or a legislator or a school or law enforcement, whatever, could come to one place and under one roof and one leadership be able to access those services and those grants that accompany it.
ADECA's, with its broad range of services that we provide, has impacted the state and the citizens of the state in so many ways. A big impact on economic development.
ADECA is important because of the many programs and services that it provides to the community. Without it, I think the community would be at a loss.
Everything we do is aimed at improving the quality of life or the position in life of an individual in Alabama.
In my job, I have the opportunity to talk to people who are enrolled in our program when I go out monitoring, and it is it's very, very rewarding to talk to them and to hear their perspective and to hear them talk about how wonderful it is that we have this funding available so that they could complete training, go to college, and do things they never thought they could do.
Snap the teeth on look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the state, so I gotta be down with the hood.
Do you believe